So we just had a decent week of fights. Yes, we had Friday, Fury versus Wach. Went exactly as I predicted. We had AJ versus Prenga. Very interesting fight on Saturday. And then Sunday we had Spence versus Tszyu. Kind of went how I thought it would towards the end after seeing Spence changed his mind about the weight and everything. But yeah, good week of fights. I actually streamed the last one live, Spence versus Tszyu. You can see my reaction to that. But yeah, let me go over what happened. So on Friday, Fury vs. Wach, it was uneventful, bit of a slog, bit boring. It looked like a 50-year-old man versus a almost 40-year-old man for sure. Now, Fury did get the job done by corner stoppage, so good on him, I guess. That's TKO on his record. He got some needed rounds, I guess. You know, it is what it is. Thailand, random fight in Thailand. I guess he's did a tune-up before the AJ fight. Now the AJ fight itself, the day after against Prenga, that was a decent scrap. So round one, first punch, Prenga throws his uppercut in the clinch, and he floors AJ, just straight floors him. And yeah, AJ stumbled back after stumbled down after the uppercut. He wasn't too hurt by it. It was just big shock, especially because of all that AJ's gone through. He's had a tough past year. He's only really fought Jake. Before that he lost, and then after Jake he had the awful accident in Nigeria. But Prenga dropped him round one, started landing at will, imposing his will, moving forward, just stung him with the 1-2, put him against the ropes a couple times. And yeah, really good stuff from Prenga. Then dropped him again, but it was like, AJ touched down on the canvas with his gloves. He wasn't really dropped. Got the 10 count, survived until the next round. And in the next round, in between, Usyk, his cornermen, well, because they're now AJ's cornermen, they were giving him some decent advice, motivating him. Came out round two, completely fine, which is interesting because AJ, if he gets dropped, he has a hard time recovering. It takes him at least a couple rounds to get his feet back under him. So I was impressed with that, He didn't look too unsteady. He was actually smiling after the first knockdown, so well done, AJ. That's one positive he can take from being dropped by an unknown guy in round one in his comeback tune-up fight. But yeah, good stuff, I guess. Comes back round two, heavy-handed, moving forward, lands a 1-2, stumbles him back on the ropes near the corner, lands big heavy hooks on the side of the head, top of the head, drops Prenga falls through the ropes. He can't make the count. AJ gets the job done after one of the worst round ones he's ever had, probably the worst round one he's ever had. Probably worse than the Dubois round one, where he also got dropped towards the end. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough tune-up for him. I don't know if the AJ Fury fight is next, but it should be. I just don't know if it will be. The interviewer, the guy doing the post-fight interview in the ring, was very, very awkward, trying to bring up AJ's friends, making AJ cry. Yeah, they should have, be a bit more cautious about that. You don't need to be asking 20 questions in an awkward manner. I don't know, someone get this guy out of here. Every single interview he has is really weird. It's just constantly going on, and there's no hype in the way he talks. He doesn't even seem like a fan of boxing. I don't know. Maybe we need to change that up, but yeah. And Eddie Hearn in the post-fight interview didn't exactly allude to the Fury fight being next. He sort of seemed a bit hesitant to confirm anything. AJ tried to call him out because he said, is Fury in the building? Trying to make some sort of promo because Fury did the same thing to him when he fought Makhmudov. But yeah, didn't quite happen this time. Do I think this fight is next? I think they both look bad enough that they give each other confidence, because I think Fury sees AJ dropping in round one, thinks he can do the same. And then AJ sees the fact that he got up really well and then got the knockout in round two. I think that's going to give him confidence against Fury. I see some people saying Prenga was, he got the call in round two. He remembered the script in round two. But yeah, I don't know. He could have just had a big adrenaline dump. He dropped the former 2-time world champion, got excited, had a great round one. But then round two, when he got out the corner, he just I don't know, forgot that he did that. Maybe he felt the pressure. He didn't perform. He's never been in that position before. and he just dropped the ball. Yeah, it just happens. I don't think it was too sus. It would have been an amazing upset if it did happen. This random Albanian guy just upsets one of the great heavyweights of this generation, but it didn't quite happen. At least he gave us a good 2 rounds to watch. So yeah, that was decent Friday and Saturday fights. Now Spence versus Tszyu. That was good. Spence retired at the end after losing a brutal 12-round beating by Tszyu. Now, Spence had his moments, early on in the fight, and a couple of sporadic rounds here and there. He was picking up the points. And, let's go right back to the walkouts. So with the walkouts, Tim came out with the Eminem, I don't know, trying to make a callback to Terence Crawford. He didn't exactly look like Terence Crawford out there. But yeah, came out with the Eminem teaser and then 50 Cent. It was a decent walkout. He looked like he was feeling the pressure of the moment. And then Errol Spence came out with the Aboriginal sort of theme. He also looked a bit awkward. I don't know, he looked his usual nonchalant self. He looked like he was high, like he always does, but drunk, maybe punch drunk, I don't know. Yeah, very slow from both of them. They go in, and Errol actually starts quite fast. He was jabbing very heavy early, jabbing, crossing, moving to the body, jab up top, cross upstairs. Jab to the top, cross downstairs. Doing his usual jab, body hook, leaning in close, and it was having success. But Tim in the early rounds wasn't throwing. He was sort of letting Errol. I don't know if he was trying to make him punch himself out or if Tszyu was gun shy, but yeah, Tim just let Errol do his thing. He let him punch, he let him hit, and I think he completely disrespected the power of Tszyu. Of Errol Spence. Didn't respect it at all. He got hit clean with overhands and hooks and crosses. He was absolutely fine. And even towards the end of the first round, after Tim basically landed nothing, there was an awkward moment where he pushed Spence's head down, and as Spence was coming back up, he hit him with the right hook, stumbled his legs a bit, tried to look for a finish, but got tangled up a bit. Now, after this, in round 2, Tim started to pick it back up. He was ignoring Spence's jab, and Spence, he stopped jabbing once he realized this Tim has the power advantage. So Spence started backing up more, trying to be outside of range, and then when he'd get into range, he'd make sure he's in really close range. He'd be right up against Tim, shoulder to shoulder, throwing body hooks, uppercuts. Tim was trying to land his own uppercuts. Did a few, busted up Spence's eyes. Tim also looked kind of cut off a bit, but they both made it out relatively unscathed. Now, eventually, Tim just starts pulling away with the lead. They go between trading rounds where Spence takes a round because Tim has inactivity, and then the next round Tim is just landing hooks at will, so beating him up like he's got the weight advantage, which he probably does because he's a lot bigger and more used to the weight class. And yeah, Spence looked a bit dejected. He didn't look, as lively as he used to do. Maybe the 3 years of inactivity does that to you. Now, Tim also looked a bit geriatric. I don't know. Tim didn't impress me at all, Tszyu. This fight should have been a stoppage. He should have been able to get him out of there maybe in round 6 or 7. Oh, shit, I just said 6, 7. But, yeah, Tim had a bit of a stinker performance because Spence was a body bag, was a punching bag for half of the fight, and Tim was also a punching bag for Spence in certain rounds because Spence would just be wailing on him because Spence has no power. Tim ate those. Now he should have been countering and unloading on Spence when he pushed him in the ropes, which he did a lot, but Tim had some issues cutting the ring off, which makes sense. He's never really had the best fight IQ. Like we saw against a couple fights against Fondora and Murtazaliev. Now, I think both fighters are shot. I'm not going to lie. They're both washed. It's a good thing Spence retired after that. I think one judge had it 118, 112. I think, something like that. 118, let me check. Yeah, so one judge had it 118, 110, and 2 judges had it 117, 111, which is exactly what I had, 117, 111. So yeah, I gave Spence 3 rounds, and Tim had the rest. But yeah, Tim should have got him out of there. To be honest, he's now a 32-year-old. He's probably a domestic level fighter at best. He got his championship run. He had a few good fights, good scrap against Fundora, two of them. But yeah, Fundora would have eaten both of these guys alive in the same night with one hand. To be honest, that's my boy right there, Fundora, 6'6" middleweight. The future of boxing. If you know, you know. So Fundora, I think he beats both. I'm not sure what's next for him because I don't think he's going to be fighting Tim again. He's going to probably defend his mandatory and then probably Boots or Virgil Ortiz or Zayas or, yeah, I don't know. This doesn't, or maybe even Josh Kelly, I don't know. I'll have to take a look at what I think is next. So it's good thing Spence retired. For Tim Tszyu, this is a good comeback fight for him, I guess, in front of his home crowd in his favorite stadium in Sydney. Against a good fighter, probably his best win on his resume. Even better than Tony Harrison, I'd say, because Tony Harrison was also pretty washed up by that point as well. Even though he got the KO, Spence is a lot more accomplished. Now, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Great fight. It was entertaining while it lasted. Well, I mean, it lasted the full 12, but it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed commentating live. Hopefully you guys do too. You can watch the replay if you want. But, yeah. I'll see. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like, sub. Goodbye.